Doing good.
See you online too.
You're what?
Yeah. Okay. I'll give it a whirl, see what I can
Hey,
do.
David, go ahead and mute. All right, there we go.
All right. Yeah, I was going to talk to you about.
Sorry, Brendan, people were over talking you there, buddy.
No, that's okay. I'm more the merrier. But no, everything's good, and I just have my wife's at home. She's teaching virtual, and I'm at home today, and we have a 10-year-old that's doing virtual learning. So we're just trying to help, because we also have a 2-year-old and a going to be 5-year-old. So we're doing our best.
Bet you that's challenging.
You're juggling.
God bless you.
Not to mention
same way.
you're the athletic director at a school and all the athletic issues that are going on that I see back and forth. Unbelievable.
Yep, you just juggle, right? You
just juggle.
God doesn't put things on the plate you can't handle. So here I am, proving them right.
Yep.
Seemed like God kept giving me bigger plates.
Yeah, sometimes the plates are clean and sometimes they're not, but it is what it is, and I'm blessed, so everybody's healthy.
Never knew growing older could be so much fun.
Yeah.
Oh, what is who's sharing?
Somebody's sharing.
Yeah, somebody is sharing their screen.
Roy Snyder sharing.
Roy needs to share with us, I guess, the Chef Paul's latest, recipe there.
Gone. Hi, Jim.
Howdy, all.
Jim, you look like you're in a simulator.
What's a simulator?
It's like you're sitting there like you're about to fly a plane. You got the big chair and you got the Mickey Mouse ears on. You got
I'm sure
back.
sooner or later you'll comment about my pajamas too.
Those are
Smart
pajamas?
Alec.
You're really nice.
I thought it was a flight suit.
Hi, Billy.
Hello there. Good to see you.
Lori, hi, David.
Hey there.
All right.
Josh, what state are you in right now?
In Colorado.
You are Colorado. You're not outside of Colorado at all.
I'm not, no.
Okay.
The state of confusion, along with all of us.
The state of insanity.
Yeah. Do you have kids?
I do. I'm kind of in the same boat as Brendan. I have 2 twin baby girls that are 3.5, and I've got a 6.5-year-old boy, and he is homeschooled right now, remote learning.
Yeah. It's not easy, is it?
It's challenging to say the least.
It makes us have a great respect for teachers and what they do when they have 30 in front of them or more.
100%, yeah.
They're amazing people, and you don't know it until you're in the spot to do what they do every day.
Exactly. You're exactly right.
I did hear someone say that they are understanding now that maybe it's not the teacher's fault their child is the way they are. It might be their child's fault.
Donna, you are absolutely right.
Spoken like a non-parent.
No, you're absolutely right. I have the honor of working with my grandson who's 7, and my husband and I do his virtual on Mondays and Tuesdays. And there's a little girl in the class and she's never muted, and it's always off-task behavior and questions that have nothing to do with what they're doing. And I have to chuckle because, oh my gosh, the teacher handles it so beautifully. It makes you laugh, but it is only one I'm working with. And so when you have 30 or more, it's a challenge.
Hey, David.
Yes, sir.
Roy Snyder doesn't know why his picture's not on the screen. It always has been in the past. Any idea?
Yeah, he probably hasn't turned on the video next to the bottom left.
I'll tell him, okay.
And now I muted him because he was talking.
Bottom left of your screen, there's a little thing that says video. If you push the video, that should do it.
It's over on the left. It's over on the left, Bill, where it says mute
There
and
you
stuff.
go. You got it.
Good job.
Now push the microphone.
Right.
I got him.
Thank you.
Okay, now
All right.
if you can tilt your screen down about a foot. Or yeah, that's perfect. That's a lot better. Hi, Roy.
Hey, Paul.
Tilt that screen just a touch and we'll get to see you or what your handsome face.
Were you talking to me?
Yep.
I can't hear you.
Hey, Tom.
Hello.
Oh, damn.
Brad.
Hello, how are y'all?
Good. Rick, good to see you.
Hello.
Welcome aboard, Dick. Kimberly. Cute picture.
David, just saw you pop up. Lori, good having you guys on board. Hello, Lori.
Hello.
Oh, there's
Very
Lori.
festive background.
Oh, very festive.
And it is just a background. That's not actually the tree in my house.
When your arm disappeared, I kind of had a clue. You were waving your arm and it just went away.
Yeah, right?
And I'm in my backyard.
Right.
My backyard looks
Warmer out there.
My desk is a mess.
Hey, Cheryl.
Cheryl.
Hey, Phil, how are you?
I am good.
Good.
You guys have seen those little ceramic signs that have little notes on them? I have one that says, this place is a mess, but I also have one that says, this mess is a place.
Yeah,
Oh, Paul Suss. Can I ask who DD is?
That's me.
Oh, okay. David tried to us. You got 2 screens. Oh, wow.
Yeah, I have my phone so that I can hear if I'm messing up the audio. So I know if I stop hearing it here, I'm not sharing properly.
Hi, Kelly. Poof. She magically appears.
Hello, everyone. Did everybody have a nice Thanksgiving?
Yeah, that's good.
Good.
A little smaller.
yes.
Yes.
Definitely.
Hey, Patty.
Hey, how are you?
Good.
Well, I have to
Hey,
say
David, when you,
congratulations.
if we need to address anything to Dwight, just call him Mary. That's the name he's got on the screen, and we'll just start calling him Mary.
Yeah.
Where is he? Oh, he's on the other screen. This is no, it says Dwight.
Oh, there, he switched it.
Yeah.
Well, this is the first time in about 3 months that we are on 2 screens now.
Look at that.
So that's pretty
I'm
cool.
impressed.
Me too.
We'd still rather be together.
Yeah.
Oh, me too, Donna.
Yeah, of
I
course.
agree.
Hey, Ellen. Skip, Nivea,
How's it going?
welcome to the meeting.
Thank you.
So, Phil, just to let you know, I have a guest, a visiting guest.
Okay.
So that's Kendra. I don't know if she's on yet.
I don't see Kendra yet, but yeah, when we see her pop in, we'll have you introduced.
Okay, yeah, she's visiting from another Rotary Club.
All right. Awesome.
In state or out of state?
In state.
Good afternoon, Rick.
Oh, there's the real Kimberly. Hi, real Kimberly.
Hello, George.
It's good to see you.
You too.
All right, David, let's go ahead and we'll get things rolling here. And we will look out for new people coming on, and we'll make that comment. Linda is doing our invocation today, so Linda will let you kick off with the invocation.
All righty, can everyone hear?
Yep. Yes.
Yep. Yes.
We could bow our heads. We are not at all sure what tomorrow holds, but we are very sure who holds tomorrow. We thank you, Lord, for having called us to this community to live our lives and do our work for Rotary. Thank you to all of the Rotarians who have signed up to ring the bell this holiday season, as they are giving a precious time to help others. Thank you for all of the first responders who go out each day to help with the COVID victims and others in need. I ask that you grant us the wisdom and the foresight to discern what is for our own betterment and the betterment of mankind. Strengthen us in being part of your power and influence. Prosper us in our calling, help us in our needs at this time, and guide us in our pursuit of peace for this world. May peace and goodwill abide among us this day and always. Amen.
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 Thanks, Linda.
You're welcome.
All right, let's do the four-way test. Is it the truth? Is it fair to all concerned?
Fair to all concerned.
Will it be build goodwill and better friendships?
And better friendships.
Will it be beneficial
Be
to all
beneficial
concerned?
to all concerned.
Number 5, will it be fun?
Will it be beneficial?
Then we'll do the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge of allegiance to the flag.
To the flag.
United States of America.
United States of America.
And to the republic
For which it stands,
Which it stands.
one nation,
One nation under God.
indivisible,
Indivisible. With liberty.
justice for all.
Justice for all.
God bless America, land that I love. Stand beside her and guide her through the night with the lights from above. From the mountains to the prairies to the oceans wide with foam. God bless America, my home, sweet home. God bless America, my home, sweet
That's nice.
Thanks, David.
Great version.
Kicking all that off. All right. Nubia, is Kendra on? Let's
Yes,
see.
I'm
Yep.
here.
Oh, hey, Kendra. I'm going to have Nubia introduce you.
Okay.
Sorry, hold on. I was trying to put on the background, but okay. So I want to introduce you to Kendra. She is with the Gateway Rotary Club, and so she's joining us this week. She's working on her red badge, and so I invited her to come join us today. Everybody say hello to Kendra.
Hello, Kendra.
Hello, Kendra.
Hello.
How'd you find Gateway?
I also work with Nubia, so through Ev, he had recommended that club to me as well.
Fantastic.
Yeah,
Well, welcome to Rotary.
thank you.
Glad to have you.
Yeah, thanks for letting me join.
You betcha. All right, I'm going to jump into birthdays and anniversaries here real quick. And Jerry B about December 3rd birthday. Robert Broom, December 4th birthday. Ryan Turbeville, December 6th. And then next Wednesday is Carlin Shorb. So that's kind of for this week and next week. Spouse birthdays. David, I don't think your wife's first name is your email address, but that's what I've got in here. Hers is actually today. So tell her happy birthday for us. Rick Stanzik's spouse, Karen, December 9th. And then anniversaries. Rick Martin and his wife, Gay, looks like 29 years on yesterday, December 1st. And yeah, that's it for this week. And then dates to join Rotary. We had a whole bunch of folks that joined on December 1st. So we had Alan Kirkman, Joel Kruszwitz, John Porosky, Dick Shutt, Dwight Taylor, and Pete Trainer. All joined on December 1st. John is 30 years, and all the others are 6. So thanks, guys, for your time in Rotary. That's awesome. And, David Patterson is also on here. He's December 6th, so this week, and 20 years in Rotary. So, David, thanks a lot for being a part of Rotary. Thank you. All right. I'm going to jump into Kimberly. Any announcements from you today?
Nope.
Okay.
Everything's canceled. So sad.
Yeah, that's unfortunate.
I can't have fun when I can't get you all together. But I'm real excited to plan something totally awesome for February that will be like a blowout COVID celebration of getting out, right? Cross our fingers.
We're ready.
Yeah, I think everybody's ready here.
Cross our fingers that will actually happen. Come on, Linda, smile. It can happen.
Linda, anything from, I know you wanted to provide an announcement for the book reading.
We've been asked if we are interested in doing virtual reading at Dalton Elementary. They have a date picked out for this, and what they're asking is that you read maybe one of your favorite books, and when you read it, you do it online to a class. And so if you're interested, we can send out all the information. All you have to do is respond via email to the school, and they will look at the time you've asked for and let you know if that works or not. So they're asking that you give them a 2-hour window that you're available, and they'll try to fit you in during that slot reading your book. So anyway, Dalton has reached out actually to my interactors, and they invited us to join them. So if I saw people that are interested, I'd go ahead, Phil, and send that out via a link.
Yeah, I'm up for it, Linda. So I would send it out, and I think you'll have a few takers that'd be interested in doing that.
Okay, we'll put it out via email then to everybody, and if you're interested, go ahead and just sign up on your own through the email and have fun reading to a group of kids.
Awesome. Thanks for giving us the tip on that, Linda. Appreciate it.
No problem.
Anything else from your perspective?
The only thing I'll tell you is Interact rang for the first time last Saturday, the bell, and the group that did it, the 6 of them, they've never done it before. And at the end, I had quite a few of them email me and say, we want to do more. So I sent them our Rotary link so they could fill in our spots that we still have. They thought it was fun, and they were really amazed at the amount of people that have such great hearts. And so it was a good thing for them too.
Good, good.
So could I talk a little bit about the bell ringing?
Yeah, absolutely, Tom.
Yeah, so yes, we had a pretty good weekend. Thank you, everybody, for showing up. The good news is we're booked through the end of the year at Himalaya King Supers on Saturdays, but we still need Sundays at Himalaya, and we also need some to fill in some gaps on Southlands, but we're in pretty good shape except for Sunday at Himalaya this week. Both of those shifts are open. So we only have 2 shifts, 11 to 1 and 1 to 3. So hopefully we can get some signups there. Sam, if you're on the line, is there any information about how much we've been able to collect? I guess not. Okay.
Sam is on here.
People were very generous. People were happy to see us, and I think everybody felt good about it, and we appreciate the effort that everybody's making.
Go ahead, Sam.
Can you guys hear me? Yep.
Yeah.
All right. So as a whole, the Rotary has produced about $10,500. The majority of that is from larger private donations. But the kids at ILF and Buckley from the Interact Club did $375. On Saturday, Southlands did $875. Himalaya and Smoky Hill, $882. And then on Sunday, $270. And Bob Barrows has donated $2,500. He thanks Bob. He typically sends in the first check to fill the Rotary kettle. Doug Evans has donated $5,000, and Patty Bateman has donated $1,000. And so we're really excited. The good news is once we get to actual $10,000 in our virtual red kettle, we have a anonymous matching donor. And because of some of the larger, even though they didn't go to the Rotary kettle, virtual kettle, some of the larger donors have got us closer to that. We're only $3,500 away. So once we hit that 10,000, it becomes 20,000 in the virtual kettle. But overall, Rotary, I don't have the Rotary virtual kettle number, but so far it's 10,500.
Well, thank you, everybody. Great work.
Yeah, we're definitely blessed, and we're really excited for it. And the need is great. Oh, I'm going to turn off my mic because here comes my crying toddler. Sorry about that.
Hey, Tom, is there a link? I haven't seen a link for Sundays. I've seen the link for Saturdays, but I'm not sure I've seen one for Sunday.
Yeah, you click on the calendar, and it'll say on Sundays, Southlands.
Okay.
Yeah, so if you click on the calendar, it should take you there.
I see it there. Yeah, I just did that.
Hey, Phil, can I finish real quick now that the
Yep, go ahead.
The guest speaker here is done making our voice heard. We've served over 11,000 food boxes since March 13th, and so for some perspective, that's almost double what we did 2 years prior. And so every last cent counts, and people are really giving this year at the kettles. Unfortunately, we just can't find anybody to ring at the kettles due to whatever reason, whether it be COVID or they're already receiving unemployment. We normally have 50 to 45 to 50 kettles out a day, and we're struggling to get 3 or 4 out. And we're paying $14 an hour. We've lost a lot of volunteers because of a lot of them are in the vulnerable group of folks. So we understand that completely. So every last penny, especially from volunteers, really goes a long way, and we really appreciate it. So God bless you guys, and thanks for all your help.
Thanks, Sam. I wanted to, Tom, does everybody know when you go on to you can go on to the Club Runner, the Rotary, it's actually aurorarotary.com, and the calendar that Tom was talking about, you can go over to the right-hand side and it says calendar, and you can show events calendar. In there is where you can find those links if you want to sign up for some other day. I just want to say thank you to everybody for the Saturday fill up. I concur with Tom. I was out there, my daughter and her husband wanted to ring, so they're signed up for the 12th. And noticed that most of it was filled up at Himalaya. So if anybody lives out on the Southland side or you got friends that are interested in volunteering, let's try to fill up that Southlands location as well. Okay, that's good. Danielle, you
Hey,
had
Phil,
yeah,
quick
go ahead.
question. Can I ask a quick question? Sam, is the Salvation Army Aurora, is that on Colorado Gives Day?
I know some of our things are on Colorado Gives Days, but the website is Aurora Red Kettle or Aurora Virtual Redkettle.com, AuroraRedKettle.com.
Yeah, put that in the chat if you want to put that in the chat. That way people can know about that. And I just encourage all of our members. We have a number of wonderful nonprofits, from the CCA Foundation to the YMCA to Salvation Army. I do see several. I don't see one specifically to Aurora, so probably use the virtual Red Kettle if you want to do that. But this is the time to schedule those gifts for next Tuesday. That is our statewide Giving Tuesday called Colorado Kids Day. So I'd invite you to participate and find your local Aurora charities and nonprofits and support them. And that helps get a little bit of a match from Communities First Foundation and First Bank. So another way to leverage your dollars. But thanks, Sam, for putting that in the chat so we can use that direct link.
Yeah, there's actually, maybe Phil, do you have the direct link for the Rotary Virtual Red Kettle?
I just put it in there.
Sweet, that's the one you guys want to, oh, he's using that. All right, yeah, that'll work perfect. Also, if you want to buy a toy for a kid, and if you're used to doing that, we do have a Walmart registry that I'll put in the chat as well.
Yeah, this is Pete. Am I still the only one that AuroraRedKettle.org doesn't work?
I think so.
Oh,
I feel bad. We're working on it.
I know there was money put in there, and supposedly it got to Aurora, but I still can't get in.
You can't, you say you can't log in, Pete? Is that the issue?
Can't get a new password.
Okay.
I guess I'm the only one. I don't know what I'm doing wrong.
Have you tried a different browser?
I've tried 3 different email addresses.
But have you tried a totally different browser? Are you using Internet Explorer or using Microsoft Edge or using Chrome?
Chrome.
Okay, so try a different one.
Okay, I'll do that. Okay, thank you.
Sure.
Also, if the link, I used the link that was on our Facebook page. So if that helps you, Pete, it went right to it. I didn't have to register or anything. I was just able to make a donation.
I think Pete's got to set up his own Red Kettle.
His own.
So that's what he's talking about. Yeah, the one that I'd set up out there for. So the one Danielle's talking about is the one I set up for people to, if you wanted to buy an apron or you wanted to make a donation or any of that kind of stuff, that goes directly to the Aurora Rotary. There's no pass-through Rotary at all. It goes right, and it gets credited to the Rotary Club. So that's why I set it up that way. All right. Okay.
Phil, I also put I put the link for the registration in the chat as well. I also put the link for the survey for programs in the chat as well. That's the link called Survey Monkey, and then I put the Sunday link, and then I just put the overall link that takes you to all the signups.
Okay, great.
So there's lots of links in the chat for you all to But if you pay attention to your emails, they come out with the links in them, and you can just click on the link to register. If you have difficulty, let us know.
Right. So everybody, when you hover over your screen, you should see a series of icons that pop up. What I'd like you to do is go ahead and open up. There's one there called chat. It's kind of in the middle. For me, it's in the middle of the screen. It may be slightly to the left. Go ahead and open that up, and I would encourage you to just have that open as its own window. So you can ask, you can see these links that Kimberly is talking about or Sam has talked about. And then also, this is going to be a good opportunity because we're about to jump into our speaker. So I wanted to make sure that you guys, if you have questions while we're going through this, you can throw those questions in the chat, and then that'll give us an opportunity to make sure we're covering everybody's questions. You can certainly, in this format, once you get ready for questions, you can ask them individually and would welcome that. But if you choose to, you can also put it in the chat. So just want to make sure everybody sees that. If you have any issues opening up that chat, let David or I know, and we'll try to walk you through it.
Bill, this is Rick Richard. While we're talking about being generous in donation, don't forget that this is the Rotary International Foundation time of year, and I think we put out links to how you give to the Rotary International Foundation. You can, if you'd like, you can just send a check to myself. If you want to use a credit card, you'll need to download one of the credit card forms, giving forms, and mail that to me, and I'll take care of it. Or you can just mail me a check. But remember, we're all trying to work towards giving this time of year, and don't forget your Aurora or your Rotary International Foundation. Thank you.
Thanks, Rich. Danielle, I'm going to have you talk about your bike stuff towards the end. We got Amanda, our speaker today. She is on the call, so I want to get her going, and then if we have any other announcements, I'll have those brought up towards the end of our time with our speaker. So our speaker today is Amanda Cruz. She's an experienced law enforcement and adjunct faculty with a demonstrated history of working in higher education, skilled in crisis management, analytical skills, government emergency management, and law enforcement. Strong professional with a PhD in criminal justice from Capella University, and an MA focused in human dynamics, human resources from Waldorf, and an MA focused in criminal justice from Boston University. I'd like everybody to welcome Deputy Sheriff Amanda Cruz. And Amanda, do we also need to call you doctor?
No, not even remotely. And somebody was sneaky and got on my LinkedIn because I know
that was me.
Nobody asked for a bio, so I'm like, you read that right off my LinkedIn.
Yeah. There you go.
Good. Way to use your resources. I like it.
There you go. Well, hey, we're really happy to have you here, and we'll just let you go.
Okay, perfect. So normally, if I were working from home, I would turn my video on, but I'm not because I'm working in the office today, and I have some sneaky and sometimes not respectful coworkers that like to just pop in the office, and I don't want to put you guys through that. So that's why you just see my picture that's up there. In just a second, I'll launch the PowerPoint so that you guys can take a look at that. But I do have a quick question. So are you guys collecting toys, like in package toys to be giving out? Is that something you guys do?
We do. What we're doing this year is, and Sam, if you're still on, we've done some more virtual type stuff where we've got this link to Walmart, and they're having the toys sent to the Aurora Salvation Army, where they'll be the ones that'll be doing the distribution to families in the area. So yeah, but we can certainly, if you've got stuff that you guys are collecting, I'd be happy to swing by and grab it for you guys.
Yeah, and I can definitely make arrangements to swing it by somewhere as well. So yes, and actually it's really funny because we were just talking about how we have a bunch of community members that are starting to bring in toys this year. And unfortunately, we're not necessarily doing a toy drive at our agency. We're doing something with holiday meals for people. Mm-hmm. So we have all these toys that are starting to come in, and we are kind of looking for an outlet because a lot of our places are not accepting them that we're doing it in the past. So for example, Children's Hospital is not taking anything, obviously, because of COVID stuff, but we're looking for an outlet for all these toys. So let's touch base with that, because I would be happy to turn over the toys that we get. We've got a great community that really supports us when it comes to that stuff. And I would love for those toys to go somewhere where I know they can be used.
Hey, Deputy or Sheriff, sorry.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'll email you in the chat here. I'll put my wife's email in, and we're doing the angel tree, so we can definitely arrange for that to get all taken care of.
I would love that, because I really, we were sort of at a loss and we didn't necessarily know where we were going to go with all of that. So that gives me a perfect outlet for stuff. So great.
Perfect.
Awesome.
Thank you so much.
Yeah,
Thank
no
you.
problem. Yeah. So yeah, if you guys, I will leave my chat window open. So as we go along, if you guys have questions, I am happy to answer anything that I can. To kind of get prepared for this a little bit, I reached out to a couple different entities in our agency, because I kind of wanted to give you guys a feel for what's sort of going on in law enforcement right now. And especially as we're coming up to the holidays, I just sort of wanted to give you guys a basic overview of the things that we're seeing, some tips and trends that we're seeing, primarily in Arapahoe County, but I made a call over to Aurora PD and talked to one of their analysts as well. And so it seems to be sort of wide reaching. So again, if you have questions as we go through, just holler at me through the chat or just interrupt me. It's not going to bother me at all. So again, I work at the Sheriff's Office. I've been there a while. I've worked in a bunch of different divisions. I love what I do. Right now, I am currently assigned to our Community Resource Division. So I understand some of the things that you guys were talking about as I was listening to your meeting. I get it. It's all about the community and supporting the community. And I am very blessed to have the position that I do at my agency, because that is essentially what I do. I support our community through education, through sharing, giving, raising funds, things like that. So I really appreciate the work that you guys are doing. So again, thank you for that. And then thank you for having me here. So when I talk to our analysts, we keep 2 analysts on staff at all times that work specifically for our patrol division. And again, keep in mind when I talk about a little bit about statistics here, I'm talking specifically for Arapahoe County proper. That means these are the areas that we patrol, so that might not necessarily be Aurora municipal areas. This is Arapahoe County, our patrol precincts, and we have 8 of them within Arapahoe County. But according to our crime analyst, I just asked her, hey, can you give me an idea as to what you guys are seeing and what you're coming across? And she's like, sure, no problem. So the first thing that she told me was that there has been about a 15% uptick in crime. Now, while it's very easy to get sort of oh my gosh, that's a big jump in crime, it actually is to be expected, because we have had a lot of people move into the Denver metro area in general, and then also into like the Arapahoe County area, Aurora, things like that. So it's really not that big. And we see anywhere between, she told me, somewhere between 8 and 19% a year anyway, just because of the growth of Colorado. So not necessarily an alarming number, but just, something natural that we tend to see. So something else that we are seeing is more calls for service involving theft from motor vehicles and theft of motor vehicles. I'll talk to you specifically about some of that in just a minute, kind of give you a little bit more insight as to that. But then also we're seeing an uptick in calls involving mental health. And I think we can all agree that there's a reason for that right now, between COVID and, stressful time of the year and all that good stuff. Because realistically, our calls for service go up during this time of the year anyway, involving mental health, because it's just the time of the year. It's just, there seems to be extra stress on people during the holidays. If they're having problems with their families, if the money is not necessarily coming in, or they're stressed about maybe buying presents for kids, things like that. We just see some mental health issues come out a little bit more in our calls, but even more so now with the adding of COVID on top of everything else. And then obviously some people really struggling with jobs and all that good stuff. So the good news with that, and I can tell you from the Arapahoe County perspective, we actually have mental health individuals that are on staff with us, with our patrol deputies, 5 days or 7 days a week, pretty much from about 6:30 in the morning until about 11, 12 o'clock at night, to assist our deputies with those calls. Our deputies do go through extensive training in dealing with mental health, mentally ill individuals. However, we're not necessarily equipped to deal with these individuals to the level to really, really help them. So in that case, we now have a mental health unit that does travel with us. They patrol just like we do on in our patrol division. They go to calls for service. They do not go alone. We do have a deputy that will respond with them to those calls to assist them and to keep them safe during that time. So, that is something that we just actually started this, oh my gosh, I think it was just this, I think we started about maybe the middle of last year with this. So it's still a fairly new program for us, but it has been super successful. We have had really great success with that. We've had a lot of feedback from those that were going through a mental health crisis that we've talked to, and they were so thankful to have somebody to, actually that knew how to support them appropriately in those calls. Another issue that we're seeing a little bit of is people just dealing with homelessness in general. And that is sort of new for us, and we're still trying to figure out some things right now. We are really relying on the municipal ordinances that say like Aurora has, or Inglewood or Greenwood Village or other agencies have. We're really relying on those right now while we try and build our own ordinances to help guide us with that. It's not a huge problem for us right now, but I suspect that it will probably get worse in the future, but that definitely is some calls that we're starting to see a little bit more and more. And then obviously calls involving drugs and alcohol. Those have really gone up since around March and April, and we know why. COVID has really forced a lot of people to stay indoors. Obviously the economy it might not be doing fantastic for some people, and so they self-medicate, and they do that through drugs and alcohol. So we're seeing a lot of our calls involving that in some way, shape, or form. Unfortunately, we are seeing an uptick in overdoses. And so we're trying to figure out, ways around that. Our deputies do carry Narcan in their vehicles so they can administer that, because generally we are first on scene to those overdoses before we can get rescue or EMS on scene. So our deputies do know how to administer Narcan. So that's a good thing for us. And then, for the most part, this is sort of what we deal with. You're looking at sort of our calls for service on a daily basis. And then you add in the middle all of that traffic and all kinds of other things. And we are busy. We are super busy. There we go. So I asked her to pull the most common vehicles that she sees getting stolen and getting broken into. And for as long as I can remember, 4 trucks have been on the top of that list. I don't really know necessarily why. So I reached out to we have a traffic unit that handles like theft from motor vehicles and things like that. And they said that according to those guys, that they are easy to break into, and then they are easy to get rid of. And I was like, well, what does that mean, get rid of? And they said they're easy to either part out and take apart for different parts. So basically they're going to chop shops, or it is very easy to take those vehicles and take them across state lines, but even more so out of the country. So you'll see those cars a lot of times going to Mexico or other places in total. And then it seems to me like I've always seen Honda on this list too. So I asked about that, and they said Hondas are for the same thing. They go to chop shops because they are known for their parts and things like that. And then same thing, they're trafficked out of the country or they are trafficked out of state. So that's really interesting. And I look at this and I think, okay, my dad has a Ford truck. We have I think ours is a Honda Accord. That's our little runaround vehicle. I mean, these are very common vehicles. So we'll talk about what we can do or what you guys can do to avoid being a victim of a theft from motor vehicle or from having your car in total stolen. So really, it really comes down to you guys. Unfortunately, we know that law enforcement, we're just really reactive by nature. And what that means is law enforcement, we only know that crimes have occurred because you call in and you say you're a victim of a crime, so then we respond. Very rarely does law enforcement, are we ever able to come upon a crime we're in the midst of occurring, right? That just never, ever happens. It just doesn't, unfortunately. So we really rely on you guys to go through and, try and work to avoid being a victim in total. So these are just some of the tips that we talk about for, just some of the easiest things you guys can do. So bottom line is it really starts with you. Locking your car doors, even if your car is in the garage. I don't know how many times that I had gone to cars that were stolen, and the first thing we always ask, did you lock your car door? And most of the time, believe it or not, people say no, it's in my driveway, I shouldn't have to. I agree, you shouldn't have to, but at this day and age, you probably should. Same thing, even in the garage, and I am just as guilty of this. You think that when your car goes into the garage, that it's safe. And at some point, in some cases, people actually leave their keys in their vehicle when it is parked in their garage. I don't know about you, but occasionally our garage door malfunctions and, I'll wake up or I will come out from, in the middle of the day or whatever, and my garage door is up. So keep in mind, even though it's parked in the garage, pull those keys out of there, put them somewhere else. Some people leave their purses in there, their wallets in there, their phones in there, just pull all of that good stuff out. So just take the valuables out of the vehicle, whether it's parked in front of your house or in your driveway or in your garage, take that stuff out. And even if it's just a gym bag and it's got your smelly, dirty gym clothes in there that you think, why would anybody want that? Criminals don't know that. They just see a Under Armour gym bag, sitting on your, back seat. They think, oh, well, maybe it's got some good stuff in it. So if you can just remove that out of there, that's really going to be a good start. Same thing with computer bags. Try not to leave computer bags, backpacks, even things like sunglasses and phone chargers we see. When I looked through some of the most common reports from the theft from motor vehicles, when the deputies asked, what did you have in the vehicle that was of value? They said, I just had my cell phone charger that was in the middle and a pair of sunglasses sitting on there. And they get taken. Or somebody has gone through a center console and just rifled out and grabbed the loose change that was in there. We see that with a lot of our individuals, some of our suspects that are younger, that are kids, that are just digging through to find anything they can. They'll take those things. They won't enter your vehicle for that. But let me tell you, when you lock your vehicle, most of the time, unless there's something in there they really, really want, suspects are not going to take the time to break into your vehicle. They're not. They are looking for the quick one and done or moving on to the next. So like the videos that we've seen, these individuals are walking down a street and they're just trying door handles. And whoop, they find one that pops open, they go through it, they take what they want, and they move on to the next one. So something as simple as just removing those items And then locking your doors actually really, really is effective. If you do have to leave items there, so say like you do have a bag that, you know, like a computer bag that has nothing in it, or you do have a gym bag that has, you know, your running shoes and a towel, just throw it in the trunk. Out of sight, out of mind is one of the biggest things we've seen. Most of the time, these individuals will not take the time, even if your car door is open, they're not going to take the time to dig around and look for your trunk release and then dig around the trunk of your car. And if you think about it, the reason is because when that trunk goes up, the trunk light goes on and it might, you know, catch somebody's attention. So just throwing that stuff in your trunk, if you have to leave it there, is one good tip. Consider the lighting around your house for your driveway. Lighting is one of the biggest and cheapest deterrents for, you know, keeping criminals away from your stuff. And so even if you have a motion sensor, you know, that goes off and lights up your driveway, that's perfect. But really, even just turning on your porch lights gives the impression that somebody cares, somebody is paying attention, and somebody might look out their window and see something. And then just taking the time to report any suspicious activity. And I really try and drive this point home. I can drive through your neighborhood any day of the week, any time, day or night, but I don't know what belongs and what doesn't. You do. You do know who your neighbors are. You know what cars belong and what doesn't. If there's a car that's parked across the street and they've been there for a little bit and you know that it doesn't belong to you or any of the surrounding neighbors, that's suspicious. Give us a call and have us come by and take a look at that stuff. That is our job. That's what we do. But again, we don't know what's suspicious, but you guys do. I love our retired individuals who are at home, and I always give the example of my father. He sits, you know, where he sits in his house, he's got a huge picture window that he can look out, and he knows, he can tell you of all the neighbors across the street, he can tell you what time they come home, what time they leave in the morning, how many people live there, how many cars belong there, and oh, they must have family in town this week because that looks like their grandkids, and you know, whatever. So I always tell people, if you have a trusted retired person that lives in your neighborhood, go down and talk to them and make friends with them, because a lot of times they're going to be a great source of information and a great set of eyes for your community. Those guys do such a good job of just, you know, kind of watching the ins and out of a neighborhood. And then I put this in here about the puffing. You know, that's when you leave your car out, like it's cold in the morning and you want to warm it up and all that good stuff. The only thing I can say about this is if you have a kill switch, so meaning you can turn your car on and then you can pull the keys out and walk away, or you have the automatic start and you can leave your car running and locked and all that good stuff without keys in it, that's awesome. Good for you. That's great. But just make sure that you are not violating some sort of local ordinance, like just because you have that maybe in one jurisdiction, you know, in one jurisdiction, you maybe, you know, you have that, but it doesn't mean that it's legal. And that's more of an environmental thing. So that's up to you guys to take a look wherever it is you live and make sure that that's appropriate. Last year, Denver did a story where they went around and they took some of their officers with them, and they went and they showed how easy it was to jump into these cars and drive away. You know, even when you say, oh, I'm just going to run inside really quick, I forgot my coffee cup or I forgot my wallet or whatever, you know, people jumped in these cars and they were gone. So just consider that in the morning, you know, set the alarm for, you know, a couple minutes early and get that car started and all that good stuff while you're sitting in it. And scrape your windows. Please scrape your windows. I see that all the time when I'm driving to work. And I look at these people and I'm like, how are you seeing out of your vehicle? Because there's like ice across the windshield and all that. Please take the time to scrape your windshield front and back too. Just a little public service announcement with that one. So as we start getting into the gift giving season, and I think this has kind of started early too, because we've all been sitting at home, have maybe nothing to do. So you get on and you look at Amazon and the next thing you know, you've got like 20 packages coming to your house. Start thinking about where you are having those packages and when you are having them delivered. I know that in some cases we don't have an opportunity to tell the person, I need you to deliver between this time and this time. They just don't give you the option to do that in a lot of cases. But consider where you might have your package delivered. If you have the option and you're not gonna make your mailroom mad, maybe at work, have the package delivered to work. I know that when I have bought high valuable, high dollar items, I actually have them and I know I'm going to be at work when it's delivered. I actually have it delivered at work. If that is okay and that doesn't violate any policies and procedures wherever you're at, consider having it delivered to a trusted neighbor if you can do that. So that goes back to maybe your retired individual or a really, good neighbor. If you have something that's coming that you necessarily, want to keep an eye on, have it delivered to a neighbor, or when you see it being delivered, be able to text a neighbor and say, hey, would you mind running over to my porch really quick and grabbing that package off our porch? We have that with one of our neighbors. If we know that something is going to be delivered, I can call Rob or he can call us and we run out and actually grab it and we throw it on our garage. So just a thought. And I always get this question about cameras, Ring doorbells, or whatever the doorbell video that you choose. They're great. They really are a deterrent, but only for those who have a conscience. So keep that in mind. If you are going to put a doorbell on that has a camera, great. We have one. We have a Ring doorbell. There's nothing wrong with them. They're great. But consider in some cases, unfortunately, you might just be watching your package walk away. There was I think it's Mayhem, that the character Mayhem from Allstate, where there's one where he's watching, he's taking something off of somebody's porch and then stealing a car, and the guy's like, what? And he's watching it all through a Ring doorbell, the victim is. So just keep in mind that, really those are only as good if you want to sit there and watch them. But in some cases, they can give law enforcement some good information. So what I can tell you is that when and if you are choosing a doorbell with a camera system or security cameras in general, please consider how good they are. Do they record at night? Meaning, do they have night vision on them? So do they change over so at night we can see, what's going on? And then consider if you are a victim and you do have video footage, please know how to upload that. Because we'll have our guys, they respond and they want that information. But if you don't know how to upload that and give that to them, sometimes that's difficult. So know how to use that stuff. And then also just make sure the quality is good. If it's got great video quality, that is really, really helpful for us. And then if you do have to go out shopping, so you go to the mall, you go to the big box stores, whatever that looks like, just stay alert. So when you park your car, try and park somewhere that is well lit, just so, that is also a deterrent for somebody that maybe is trying to follow you to your vehicle, to take your purse or take your packages, all that good stuff. Just try and park in a well-lit spot. If you are going to multiple places, put those packages in the trunk, so that, if you're gonna stop, throw those packages in the trunk and then make your next stop, so that is, again, out of sight, out of mind. That's some of the big things that we see during the holiday season. People go and they hit multiple places at one time, and they just leave the packages or the bags, like, Macy's or whatever, in their back seat. And then, the criminals walk by and go, oh, look, it's Macy's bag or whatever. Then, they might be more inclined to try and get into your vehicle to take that. And the big thing is just really try and stay vigilant as you're moving to and from your vehicle, especially if you were out at night when it's dark. And since it gets dark like crazy freaking early right now, that is even more so important. So really, the responsibility comes down to you. Like I said, unfortunately, we are reactive. So keep an eye out in your neighborhood. If you guys run, if you walk, in the mornings, in the evenings, whatever, just keep an eye out. Know your neighbors. If you were going to go out of town, let a neighbor know that you're going out of town. Have them, especially, during the holiday season. If you are leaving, have them pick up your newspapers or your mail, stuff like that. Don't leave that stuff on your front door. And then just keep an eye out for things. If things don't look right in your neighborhood, call your local law enforcement and have them do a drive-through of the neighborhood. Another thing, if you guys are going to be going out of town for long periods of time, so say like for 2 weeks you're going to be gone, or sometimes we have our snowbirds that are gone for a couple months actually out of the year. We always encourage them to call, and this is for Arapahoe County. If you live in our area, you can call us and we can put your house on an increased patrol, meaning a deputy can take a drive through there and make sure that everything is okay. Big thing, just some communication. So give us a call if you guys ever need anything or if things just don't look right. And then take the time to walk around your house and try and do it through the eyes of a criminal. What doesn't look right? What does look right? And if you have questions about any of that, you can call. If you are within Arapahoe County's jurisdiction, if you're within our service areas, you can actually call me and I will come out and do a physical security survey of your home. And I can tell you, based on some national standards of what you can do or what you need to do to make your home just a little bit safer. And then just the bottom line, if you see something, just say something. So give us a call or let your local law enforcement know. But please, 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 the bane of my existence is Nextdoor. The Nextdoor app. Nextdoor is a wonderful way to talk amongst neighbors, things like that. But keep in mind, I rarely see law enforcement using that, especially it is not monitored. So I can tell you, our PIO for our agency, our public information officer, is on Nextdoor for everything, but it is not monitored. And then also keep in mind, don't post anything on there unless it's actually factual. So if you say, oh my God, there's been like 30 break-ins in our neighborhood, make sure that that number's correct, because that tends to impose a great deal of panic. And I don't blame anybody for that, but it causes people to panic. If you live within our area and you want to know what's going on in your neighborhood when it comes to crime statistics, and you live within Arapahoe County, call me. I will run a 2-mile radius around your house and tell you what has gone on, so that if you do post something on Nextdoor, that it is appropriate and it actually has factual information. Awesome. So that is all I've got.
Thanks, Amanda. That was great information. I think we have a couple questions out there. Brad, you had a question.
And I'm sorry. For some reason, I can't bring my chat window up.
That's okay. I've got it here. I can read them to you.
Okay.
Brad, go ahead. You had a question about Nextdoor.
Yeah, I had chatted just a few minutes ago before you started talking about Nextdoor. So my comment was, like I live in Aurora and get some Nextdoor stuff on my in my neighborhood, and people will, it seems like they'll say, "Oh, my car was broken into last night," and give the details. And I go, "Really? Did you file a police report?" I feel like asking that every time they do that. Secondly, in Aurora, I don't believe they monitor Nextdoor either for individual posts, but what they do is post something like a missing child alert or something. I just got one a couple days ago from the Aurora Police Department, and wondered if the Arapahoe Sheriff kind of does the same thing as Aurora in terms of monitoring Nextdoor or posting on Nextdoor, and kind of what can you see when you guys, or maybe you don't see anything on Nextdoor.
Yeah, we do actually. Our PIOs they do. So it's kind of a misnomer. Yes, they monitor it. They do. So they do tend to answer questions, things like that on there. So let me address, like, one of the first points you brought up was, you want to ask people, have you actually reported your car being stolen? If you can believe it or not, most of the time they do not. And I'm like, what are you doing? You get online and the first thing you do is post it on Nextdoor. Why don't you call the police first, and then maybe this afternoon you can get on Nextdoor and share your misery with people? But we do, and we do send out alerts as well on there for like Amber Alerts. And as a matter of fact, I think our agency just sent one out about an hour ago about a missing female in the area of like Quebec and county line. And then you can also, for our agency, if you're in our area, You can sign up for Arapahoe 911 if you go to our website. You can sign up for that, and you can get those text message alerts sent to your phone. So if by some reason you don't monitor next door, you can get those alerts, and we use that for like if we have like missing kids, or if we have a situation going on in a neighborhood that we would really prefer that people lock down, or and say we haven't quite got to the reverse 911 yet, they will put that out on there. But we do actively use that to post information on.
Okay, thank you.
You bet.
All right, Skip, you had a comment or question?
Yeah, hi Amanda. I'm a retired commander from Colorado Springs Police. So first, and it's a great presentation. And just a few comments to add on to what you said to the club. The reality is that most criminals, they just go after low-hanging fruit. And so the bottom line is you don't want to be the low-hanging fruit in your neighborhood. And so if you take a lot of the steps that Amanda talked about, not only with your security about the car, your home, she talked about this process. It's called CPTED, or Crime Prevention Design. And it's really great to take a look at your house from the criminal's perspective. And is it easy to break into? Do you have shrubs covering all your windows or things of that nature? It's really worth your time to look at your house that way and be aware of your surroundings. So many people that I dealt with in my career were just oblivious to what was going on around them, and they make themselves targets. So Amanda's great information.
Skip, you were awesome. You were totally you're speaking my language when it comes to CPTED. I do CPTED stuff. I go to banks. I go to jewelry stores. I go to people's homes. Last year, we did all the judges in Arapahoe County, whether they lived in Arapahoe County or not. We did all of their homes just to make sure. And yeah, it's sort of a lengthy process for us, not necessarily, who we're doing it for. And the end result is a great report that gets turned out for you to take a look at. So yeah, all those things are great. And I should have known, because I can see the picture in your background, Skip, and it has a police officer. I should have saw that.
Amanda, if you stop sharing your screen, I think your chat will pop back up.
Oh, hey, look at that. Look at that. I can see it too. Yep. Got it. Yes, I got it. Perfect. So I can see. So let me grab some of these questions here. Has the approach from police changed as it pertains to suspicious activity? Oh God, I'm so sorry. So that is a lengthy answer. I'm going to try and give you the basics, the basic answer for this. Yes. I will try and keep politics out of this as best as I can. New legislature mandates has given us new mandates and how we can do things. In the past, if somebody looked sort of suspicious in a neighborhood, we could contact that individual and say, hey, what's going on? Guess what? We can't do that now. We have to have a valid reason, even if it's 3 o'clock in the morning and the person is standing outside the house, your house. We cannot approach them now. We have to have a concrete reason to approach them. And I am so sorry. And that has completely changed the way that we police now, unfortunately. So it definitely has tied our hands with things. Now, that hasn't changed how we do business in terms of driving through neighborhoods and still doing increased patrols and things like that. We can still drive through a neighborhood. We just can't physically contact these individuals, unfortunately. So let's see. Hopefully that answered your question. Is there a police non-emergency number? Yes. So it depends on where you go or where you live in. I can give you the Arapahoe County non-emergency number, and that is 303-795-4711. And even if you have that number, you can tell the dispatcher, I'm sorry, but I live in Aurora, and they can transfer you over in 2 seconds, probably quicker than you can. My dispatchers will probably kill me, but quicker than you looking it up even on the internet, they can just transfer you over. But let me tell you, don't hesitate in calling 911 if something is occurring or something is suspicious right now, because that will get their attention and get our attention just a little more quickly. All right. Has the department seen any of the scams where criminals flatten your tires and offers to help and run up? Oh, claiming to have lost their child. No, we haven't had any incidents of that in Arapahoe County yet. But trust me, we are full of scams. Some of the basic ones we have really seen here lately have been the phone scams where somebody calls, they get on our website and they pull up a name of a captain on our, one of our divisions and say, oh, this is Captain, or I'm sorry, Chief Jared Rollison with the Arapahoe County Sheriff's Office. You have a warrant for your arrest. And I actually had, and hopefully I'm not picking on anybody here, I had a very high-ranking person from the University of Denver show up in our lobby and say, I'm here to turn myself in because I have a warrant, because Chief Jared Rollison called me and said that I had a warrant and I wanted to come and take care of it. And I brought money, and we're like, what? First of all, Chief Jared Rollison doesn't care. He doesn't have time to just sit around and randomly run people's names for warrants. So he was a victim of a scam, but I am glad that he came to the department to double check things rather than just handing over cash to somebody. Let's see, next door, we talked about that. Is there any other questions you guys have?
Amanda, I do have a question.
Sure.
Can you hear me?
I can.
Yeah, I was starting to type it into the chat, but since you asked, I'll go ahead and just say it.
Okay.
So in recent weeks, they look like younger people. We do have video monitors, so they're just going through our neighborhood checking for unlocked cars.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't remember, maybe a month ago, my wife accidentally left her car unlocked. The guy went through her car, rifled through everything, but didn't steal anything. And the weird thing, there was even some change. So I'm trying to figure out, if you go into a car and you don't even steal the change, what were you looking for? My assumption, he was I think looking for remotes to steal so that you could get into the house later or something. I don't know. But my question is, I didn't report it since nothing was stolen. Should I have reported it, and should we have uploaded the video? Now, we didn't have a good picture of his face, but is it worth, I don't want to bombard you guys with just busy work, but would it have made sense to report it and upload the video?
Yeah, Rick, you know what? I completely understand why. I get why you didn't feel the need to report it. But let me tell you, first and foremost, we track that stuff. So that really allows us to track the crimes in your area, because maybe they didn't take something from your vehicle, but maybe they took it from something from your neighbor 2 doors down. And that allows us to really focus on like hot spots. So if we see a bunch of this occurring in one area, then we can saturate it with maybe some cars, different times of day or night. So again, I completely understand why you didn't. And actually it is a crime. They're trespassing into your vehicle. So just because they don't steal something doesn't mean that it isn't a crime. So definitely, you could certainly call the non-emergency number. And let me tell you, for something like that, I know for our agency, you can actually do an online report. So that would not require, at your convenience, you can, get online, put your information and everything, and then a deputy or one of our community service people will call you back and get the information. So yeah, definitely feel free. You are not ever bothering us. That's what your tax money goes for. One is for us to take care of you. And then really it does help us as well to, go through and just track that stuff. And you're giving them too much credit, thinking that they're taking the time to look for your remote, for your garage door, but in some cases you might not be wrong.
Okay, thank you.
You bet.
Amanda, may I ask a question, please, or give a comment?
You got it, Bill.
I have had the pleasure of living in Arapahoe County and Thunderbird Estates out here off Gun Club Road and Alameda for 41 years. And I just want to thank you and everyone in your group for the great job you've always done out here, servicing our neighborhood when things come up. And it's just a pleasure to deal with you. And I mean that from the bottom of my heart. We feel very comfortable out here with the knowledge that you all are really overseeing and pretty much taking care of the situations. Thank you.
Bill, thank you so much. You know what? You guys are some of my favorite people out there. I always they say, hey, does somebody need to do a neighborhood meeting out there? And I'm like, oh my God, send me. because you guys are just some of the most down-to-earth people. I got to tell you, every time I drive on Gun Club, I feel just rotten for you with all the construction and the traffic and everything. I feel rotten. Yeah. Well,
It's
thank you
changed,
very much.
it's changed a little bit in the last 40 years out here, but it's still a great place to come home to.
Yes, you got a little slice of country in heaven out there.
It works. Thanks, Amanda.
You bet.
Have a Merry Christmas.
You too.
All right. Any other questions for Amanda? All right. Well, hey, Amanda, one of these times I've got this challenge coin that I need to give to you. It's got our 4-way test on the back for being willing to come and speak to this group of hoodlums. And so we really appreciate your taking that time to step out here.
Yeah, and I will swap you challenge coins, and I will give you one of our Arapahoe County Community Resources ones.
Oh, cool.
And then I will look for the email address in here so that I can get with you guys to drop off presents toys as we get a little closer.
Yeah, I
that
sent
sounds
it to you
good.
in a private chat, Amanda.
Perfect. I will grab. Oh, yep. Okay, got it. Awesome. Thank you guys. Have a great holiday.
You too. Thank you.
Uh-huh.
All right. Danielle's got a quick announcement about she's doing a bike. I don't know what you want to call it, bike donation. So Danielle, I'll give you a chance to talk a little bit about that.
Thanks, Phil, and thanks, Amanda, if you're still on. And we can also connect because Amanda's friends with my neighbor behind me, which is how I got connected with her. So I volunteer a couple times a year, and coming up next week is with A Precious Child. And so they're a local nonprofit, and this time of year they grant wishes for children. I know there's a lot of different trees and things that are happening right now and with the Salvation Army, but I personally am buying bicycles for children and just wanted to throw that out there for anybody that would like to either donate to a bicycle or grant a child's wish. With a bunch of Allstate agents, we do this because typically kids do not get their bikes on those wish lists when it comes to the wish trees and everything. So we take that upon ourselves as agents. Typically, we donate from anywhere from 40 to 60 bicycles a year. So I already have 2 on my list, but if there's anybody that would like to either purchase a bike or put money towards a bike, please reach out to me. Again, we're going to be putting them together and donating them on the 10th is when I'll be physically putting it all together. So by this weekend, if anybody would like to contribute. And part of that, Phil and I chatted, I'm sure most of you read in the district newsletter that it's also the Rotary Holiday Day of Giving. So it doesn't necessarily have to be Saturday, but that is just one of the days that a lot of different clubs around in our district are participating. So just wanted to put that out there as another little opportunity. So thanks, everybody.
Thanks, Danielle. Appreciate it. Okay, one last thing I want to bring up, and then we'll let everybody go. I sent out an email last, actually, I think it was actually Thanksgiving Day. I was in between football games or something. And I went ahead and set out the email associated with the credit. And I wanted to provide some color on that, a little bit of clarification. As a board, I think it's been 2 weeks ago now, we met and discussed. At that time, we knew we were going to have to go on to the Zoom platform. We were going to be sliding out of the Radisson restaurant was going to be closing. And so we knew for the rest of December that we were going to be on this platform. In the email, I referenced a $50 dues variance that will be received by corporate and active members. And that credit can be obtained. Kimberly has sent out a link for you to click on, and then you can go back and reference either yes or no if you want that credit. One of the things I want to make sure that I clarify that probably wasn't clear in the email is that dues variance is associated with this quarter. In Rotary, the quarters start in July, so the first quarter was July through actually June, I guess, isn't it, Rick? I'm trying to remember. June through August.
It's July 1st.
Yeah, July 1st. And then the next quarter is this one we're in now. And then the third quarter actually starts in January. So the variance that we're providing is associated with the remaining lunches that we have in this second quarter, October, November, December, which would be these three, in essence, meals that are coming back. It's not a one-for-one. We discussed this in our board. There were several ideas shared, and we're kind of looking at this similar to the way we would look at the way gym club memberships or other membership type related organizations are crediting back. So if you have questions specifically about this, go ahead and reach out to me, or you can reach out to Rick or any one of us on the board, and happy to have a conversation about what we're doing. But keep in mind that credit form is only available till the 15th. And the reason for that is we want to be able to give our club bookkeeper an opportunity to register these things. So when he's ready to send out the invoices on the 2nd of January for the third quarter, all of that stuff is credited in the appropriate manner. All right. Okay. Any questions about any of that? And this only applies again to corporate and active members. Does not apply to senior exempt or anybody on leave of absence or family memberships. All right. Any questions from anybody associated with that? All right. I think that's all I've got. If there isn't anything else, I don't see anything in the chat. Amanda has provided in the chat, you'll see she's got her email address in there. So if anybody would like to reach out to her with further questions or commentary, anything like that, it's certainly there, it looks like. So.
And Phil, I'm going to just jump in before we go to just ask everybody to look at their email. And if they haven't done the survey yet, if they would please do that, it will help John and I kind of get some focus for programming for the new year.
Yeah, great point.
Thanks.
Sheila. Just so Kimberly put the survey in the chat box. It's one of the first ones I think she sent out here. It's the one that says surveymonkey.com. And that was also sent out in an email from her. And what this is going to do is going to benefit John and Sheila, John Wolfgill and Sheila, to set up future speakers. So we really need your input on this as far as what you guys are looking for or what you're interested in hearing about. And then they'll make their best opportunity to try to fill those asks. All right. Okay. I think that's it. Ding, ding. We are adjourned.
Bye, everybody. Thanks. See you next week.
Bye, everyone.
Bye, everyone. Take care. Stay healthy.
Hey, thanks, David, for getting everything set up, buddy.
My pleasure.
Thanks for your donation, John. And Danielle, thanks for your donation and your matching deal on Facebook. We really appreciate you.
And see you all next week.
All right, I'm going to end the meeting. Bye, y'all. See you soon.